Hey Questies, Coach Rob here with our third, I believe, die monthly meeting. This is like the fifth or sixth time I tried to record this, so I'll try and keep it short. Let's dive in. Last time we talked about pre-selecting exercises and how that's what we're going to be doing from now on. We were at a crucial crossroads at the 3-week mark, that halfway point of this pilot program, and we talked about how the 3 weeks is usually that kind of falling off point. Talked about some one-on-one calls. This time, though, I want to celebrate some growth, talk about speed bumps, address some nutrition, and keep the end in sight for us. So everyone levels up is those 3 little words every gamer wants to hear. Lots of awesomeness all around. People are taking big ownership of your training. What I mean by that when I say ownership of your training is the average, let's say, RPE of your total sessions. I've noticed an upward trend of those in the finished workouts. So at the beginning, the first week or two, there's a lot of like 4s, 5s, maybe 6s on people's self-rated intensity of the workouts. Nowadays, it's like a pretty consistent 7, which is great. It's like kind of right where you want to be, 7 and 8 range, especially if you're only doing like a few and you're not doing every single session, which you absolutely don't have to be doing. That higher intensity, you get more bang for your buck, which is great. So it's working. You know, one of the main goals that people said they wanted to have with a program like this was to feel more competent and more confident working out and in the gym. So seeing an increase and an upward trend in that intensity that you set for yourself is indicative of an increased competence at working out, which is great. But along with success, there's always going to be those speed bumps. Life happens, but that's the point. I've noticed that I've spelled happens without an E, which I guess is illustrative of what I'm trying to get across here. January, lots of illness, lots of work stuff, lots of school things, lots of interruptions, you know. Don't fall off. We talked about that last time. It bears repeating. When we train, we don't do it around real life. We do it for real life. When you are working out, building muscle, increasing your cardiovascular base, improving your overall mobility and your gas tank, your endurance, all that stuff, what you are doing is you are preparing yourself, your whole body and mind, for challenges that come down the road. Like when your kid wakes up at 2 a.m. to throw up all over the goddamn place, or when you need to stay late at work and bang out a project way more than you thought you were going to, and you fall behind, quote unquote, fall behind on your workouts. Good news. You've been so consistent. You've been so successful. You've been so progressive at everything leading up to this that right now, this is not a practice of your fitness and health. This is the application of that fitness and health. You are in season right now. It is game time for you during this challenging time. And you know what? When that challenging time is done, and it will end, you can slide right back in to that practice time, to that training. So don't fall off. So we have to ask ourselves sometimes what actually is the goal. Like I said, from your answers, a lot of it was to increase competence, increase confidence. Weight loss is popular, get stronger. And we're doing that. But I want us to think about things in a long-term set. So it's not just, I hit my 6 weeks, boom, close the book, they live happily ever after, the end forever. That's not how it works, right? We have every single day for the rest of your life to account for. So I want you to think about, what are we doing after this program? A goal is not an endpoint. It is a stepping stone to the next thing. And there's always more workouts too. So like I said, we've seen a couple of skipped workouts, not skipped, I should say, missed workouts. Don't feel the need that you have to go back and make them up. I'm not grading you on this. It's not going to come out of your GPA. It does not go on your permanent record. Next week, there will be more workouts. The calendars are already set. So do what you can so that you can do what you must. Nutrition, eating. This is a conversation that's come up a couple of times in a couple of different places in the last 2 weeks. I've begun this battle with calorie counters with the tools that we use, MyFitnessPal, Lose It, that sort of thing. They can be very powerful tools as long as you're doing it for the right job and for the right reason. A lot of calorie counters have a barcode scanner, which makes it very easy for you to think, oh, well, I should be eating these meals that come with a wrapper or out of a box or that are pre-processed. And it punishes you almost for making your own spaghetti bolognese or, a roast chicken, whatever, or for making a stir fry, these wholesome, whole food, healthier choices. It punishes you by making you do more data entry, basically, when you should just be enjoying your food. So you need to choose the right tool for the job. That's not always a calorie counter. If you're trying to lose weight, that can be an excellent tool. I myself don't have a great relationship with calorie counters. I don't want to do that for a lot of reasons. Sometimes just tracking protein. That's something I've been doing lately and have found profoundly helpful. Sometimes it's tracking the weight of your food, or even just journaling the things that you eat in a completely objective, non-judgmental way, writing down in your notes app or in a notebook. I like paper pencil. Obviously, I'm an old school D&D guy. Like, I ate oranges today, whatever, just keeping track of anything can be hugely powerful, but you also need to use the right tool for the job. With food selection, I've talked a lot about exercise selection, sort of the hows and whys on that, but food selection should also be a thing. I want you to be self-aware and try to engage in goal-oriented eating when we do that. And part of that seems obvious when we're talking about fitness. My goal-oriented eating, like, what is the purpose of this meal when I'm at work at 6:30 p.m. I have a half-hour break between clients and I crack open my Tupperware of roasted potatoes and chicken thighs. Like, I am fueling my body so that I can have protein and fiber and carbs so that I can finish my work and get a workout in after that. That's an obvious goal-oriented eating. But this morning, I wake up early because it's Sunday and I make chocolate chip pancakes and I have that with my daughter. There's a goal for that too. Like, what is the point of this meal? It is to have an experience with someone who I love and to share a meal in a way that we enjoy it so that we can bond together over this thing. So food is at once a tool and an experience, and it is allowed to share those two things. It is, I think, recommended that you allow food to exist on both of those. It's not either or, okay? It exists in the middle of that Venn diagram. So why is it so hard to eat, quote unquote, the right things? Like, the thing about this is that we kind of already know what we need to do. It's difficult to actually do it. And like any millennial, I know, and you probably know, that capitalism is to blame. It's not a matter of I'm too lazy or I'm too dumb. It's a matter of there's generations of systems that have been built up to make hyper palatable, low nutrient foods highly available to you at all times everywhere, and to put barriers in place that make it more difficult for you to self-prepare wholesome whole foods that actually do your body more good and fill you up. So it's not your fault that this is so freaking difficult. However, it is also your responsibility to take ownership, to take initiative on this stuff, which we're doing great right now. You guys are on the right track here. We're very close to this finish line here of our pilot program, guys. Just 2 weeks left. We will continue to make necessary adaptations, not just to exercise selection, but now to food selection. I really want to be reaching out to you guys one-on-one again this next week or two, talking a little bit about like goal-oriented eating, like what is the mission focus of every day? Like what is the point of this session? What is the point of this meal? What is the point? It was maybe a mean way to say that. What is the goal of it? We'll finish the team call on February 18th. That's another Sunday. We'll shoot like that 8 o'clock-ish time, Minnesota time again. So we can do a live call, finish out the way we started, which is to say, nice and strong, staring at your beautiful faces on Discord probably. Ask your questions and receive knowledge. Let's see. Whoopsies. Can I look at my notes here? I can't. Whatever. In the next 2 weeks, like I said, I want to try and reach out to you guys one-on-one, but I also want you to be thinking about a few things here as I sort of gear up for the exit interview section of our 6-week pilot program. What has been most valuable to you? What has been most helpful to you? What could have been more valuable? What could I do to make this more helpful to you? I'm looking at like a 8, 10, or 12-week live program, and I wonder what you guys would think. Like, if you think very realistically, how long of a time span do you think you could stick with a program like this with these sort of meetings and whatnot versus like basically inevitable burnout? And with that, price points, I'm thinking of like a $250 to $350 price point for the entire program, depending obviously on the size of the calendar, of how long it goes for, that sort of thing. Is that worth it to you? Like, what price point seems fair? And something I really want to get at is like what would seem almost like an unfair price point to me, like where you are taking advantage of me, because I want, like I said, for this to be a high quality program. And it's going to be a premium price tag, but it should be worth every pretty penny that you put in my purse. All right, under 10 minutes. Good job, guys. All right, thank you for listening. I'm gesturing like you can see me. It's all audio, whatever. Thank you very much, guys. Keep questing, and I'll see you next week for Karen and the week after that for our final meeting. Bye.